Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. We're going to keep this opening on the shorter side. I didn't know much about this movie before going in. I knew that it starred that hot chick from Mission Impossible Fallout, to put it piggishly, and it was getting some critical praise. Despite a theatrical 2020 release, I'm counting it as a 2021 film because, all movie theaters are still closed in Southern California, or at least any that are near me. So we're going off streaming standards this time. This is my honest opinion of Pieces of a Woman. Martha, played by Vanessa Kirby, was once a happily expecting mother. However, her newborn child passes away mere moments after birth and spends the next few months in depression, coldly shutting down her partner Sean, played by Shia LaBeouf, as well as her family, all trying to cope with her tragic loss. Not my cup of tea. I don't really like it. A movie like this, dealing with the subject matter of losing a child that had mere seconds to live, should be a gut-wrenching, powerful, emotionally destroying piece. But all I feel is empty, numb, and kind of annoyed. I really hate how silly this is going to sound, but one of the big reasons why I don't like this movie is because a lot of the screen time is dedicated to the back of actors' heads or the sides of their faces. It's the theater kid in me, but one of the big no-nos that my teachers hammered in was never act with your back to the audience. I wager if I had the patience, I could time how long we show the backsides of the actors, and it would take up more of the runtime than when we actually get to see them act. This drove me nuts. Especially since most of the line deliveries are kind of monotone, quiet, and unfeeling, which I do believe is intentional to kind of give that dead inside feeling, but that's where the emotions really needed to compensate, and it seldom does outside of a few choice moments. At times, it even kind of pissed me off, because when we do see the acting, it's not half bad, especially from Kirby, who I want to like more than I do, and I do see bursts of what I want to see out of her. Martha's completely shut down from the world around her. She's combative, dismissive, apathetic. There's even a scene where she laughs off a suggestion about what to do with her daughter's body that her mother suggests. It was a fairly disturbing and nonchalant laugh that she gives, but it's a really compelling performance at times. Even LaBeouf, whom is mostly hit and miss in terms of his acting here, actually hits some high notes. Same with Ellen Burstyn. But then my senses get a case of whiplash and we just have to give the back of someone's head the spotlight, or better yet, a random thing. Because in a heavy dramatic film, when the camera lingers on something pointless, it's the artist doing an art. So yeah, there's kind of an air of pretentiousness about it. Not always, admittedly. But when this movie wants to show off as an art house film, it goes hard at it. And even that opening 30 minutes, geez, I get it. She's pregnant. Can we please move the story along? God. Okay, no, that is unkind. This is me taking some of that back. The first 30 minutes does a solid job of establishing this happy relationship. I wasn't really a fan of LaBeouf's acting, but he and Kirby bounced off of each other well enough. And she was really selling her pain, so I was legit feeling that overwhelming stress of, should we call the ambulance? Should you sit down? Should I breathe? Should I blink? Should I exist? When the midwife Eva, played by Molly Parker, enters the picture, things heat up and I'm right there, anticipating the birth of this baby. But at a certain point before the drama started wrapping up, it hit me. This movie about a woman dealing with the loss of her newborn child is taking a really long time to get going. Okay, I get it. She's in pain. She's nauseous. It just feels, I don't know if I want to say indulgent, but the length of time was truly starting to weigh on me. By no means poorly done. It's well shot. It's done in lengthy takes, if not one long one. Everyone brought their A game, so it definitely deserves respect. I just feel like you could have easily trimmed off 5, even 10 minutes of that scene. There's a lot of plot beats that don't seem like they have significance now, but you know at some point later on it will have significance, specifically when it comes to Martha and the apples that she's constantly carrying and eating. Every new month shows this bridge that Sean was working construction on getting ever closer to being completed. What does it mean, I wonder? Well, for me it means how long we have until the movie ends. Oh, this is rare. We see more male nudity than we do female. Not that I needed to see Shia's dong, because of course he'd be the one showing it off on camera. Not that the context makes it any better, especially with recent allegations against the guy. Because there's a scene where Sean is being very forceful with Martha about having sex, and she's clearly not into it, but not consenting to it. So it's not a rape scene, but it is extraordinarily uncomfortable to watch. Quick heads up, going to be talking about spoilers for a few moments, so if you don't want that, jump to this time code. The only thing that I feel like was subversive and really helps this movie stand out is how the court hearing wraps up with the midwife. While Eva's ultimate fate is left ambiguous, though likely serving a prison sentence, the last we see of her is when Martha addresses the court that she doesn't blame her for her baby's death. Actually, I really like how there's no explanation for the baby's death, preventing any one person from truly being blamed. Hell, it's implied that Martha never went along with Eva's arrest in the first place. But I just love that Martha understood that choices were made. It was a bad situation that clearly got worse as time went on. But that's all it was, a bad situation. I mean, I personally didn't follow the logic of having a home birth as opposed to giving birth in a hospital, so I imagine there's some default disadvantages, but it was no one's fault in Martha's eyes. That was the home run performance from Kirby that I'd been waiting for this entire movie. Took 2 hours too long to get there, but I'll take it. I also don't know what to make of the final shot of the movie, because we follow this little blonde girl climbing an apple tree, and according to Wikipedia, that's supposed to be, or it's heavily implied, that that's supposed to be her daughter. Now at first, I was kind of like, okay, so is this like heaven, and this is her daughter kind of growing up and being the little girl that she never got to be? Like, it certainly had a feel that there was something I was supposed to interpret here. I don't know, it just feels like we spent this entire movie mourning the loss of one child. To just throw in this new one that comes out of nowhere, it feels like, oh, well, she got a new one, so it doesn't matter. Overall, there's something here, something powerful and emotionally impactful that's trying to get out and tug on your heartstrings. But it ultimately doesn't find that strength to burst through, outside of some rare exceptions. The majority of the film is just the back of everyone's heads, shock value, and occasionally poor pacing. If you got something out of it, more power to you, but I couldn't jive with it. My honest rating for Pieces of a Woman, a weak 3 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Please wear a mask if you go out. Hope to see you soon.